me say it for you. Don't give up your day job. So I was listening to one of my favorite bands, Rush, a while back, and this song came on. It's called A Passage to Bangkok. Now the map maker in me instantly said, we better have a map about this. So I set out to make a map, and it's pretty simple. There's only a couple of data sets, but there's some cool tools, and it's fun to look at. So let's get into a map about A Passage to Bangkok. This is Carto-Madness. Okay, here's a fresh copy of ArcPRO, and let's go to the Living Atlas, and we will look for a nice dark base map, particularly called Firefly. Thank you, John Nelson. And we'll add that, and it's nice and dark, and it lends itself to some bright colors over the top of it for dramatic effect. Also, we will look for world cities, and there's lots of world cities data sets out there, but well, I like this one. It served me pretty well in the past. And that's all the data we need. So let's go to world cities, and we will definition query out all the stops that we're going to make. Our first stop is in Bogota, and then we head to Kingston, Jamaica, Acapulco, then off to Rabat, Morocco, Beirut, Lebanon, Baghlan, Afghanistan, Kathmandu, where Bob Seeger apparently wants to go to, and then finally Bangkok. And yep, looks like we have all the ones we want, plus one we maybe don't. So let's export this data to a feature class that we can call our own, called stops. And there it is. We can turn off our world cities. Sure enough. So, and there's our Kingston in Norfolk Island, South Pacific, which I'm guessing is a beautiful place, but not one of our stops today. So in our table, we have all cities, but in our song lyrics, it's cities and countries. So we're going to change them to match the lyrics of the song. So we're going to change Kingston to Jamaica, Rabat to Morocco, Beirut to Lebanon, and spelling counts, and Baghlan to Afghanistan. And that should match our song now. Let's change our symbology, something much more fun to look at. And there's a data set, a style set called Firefly that doesn't come with it, but you can download it from the Esri's site. I will put a link to it below. And if we add it to a style, Firefly, and we go back to our symbology, we'll see we have it. And you see, look at that, much better. Even better than that, we have one that's got a little shimmer to it. See, it's got a little star pattern. Really great. So let's change that to something a little bit bigger because it's so much fun to look at. Nice, and turn it to Rush Red. Let's call it Rush Red from now on from this project, okay? So this is an XY from to kind of map, and we have no XY. Well, that's easy to remedy. We'll just go to our toolbox, geoprocessing, and look for add XY coordinates. Super simple tool. Just drag it over and run it, and do the magic of geoprocessing. We have an X and a Y now. Okay, that's good for our from points, but our 2 points we need to add a couple more fields. And that will be a double. And we will take numeric, and we will take the defaults. Same thing with the Y. It's a double. And numeric with defaults. Very good. Now, let's add those 2 points to our cities. So if we start, our first stop is in Bogota. And we'll take our destination X and copy and paste. I'm just doing Control C, Control V with the X and the Y. Now we're in
Jamaica, and we're going to go to Acapulco next. So let's do our cut and paste. And the same thing here in Acapulco. So we're going to head off to Morocco. And we'll continue to do our cut and pastes until we have them all filled in. And when we get to Kathmandu, our next and final stop is Bangkok. We'll save that. Now, go back to our geoprocessing toolbox and we'll look for XY to line. And also simple to use. In fact, we'll go ahead and clear our data set so we don't accidentally do one of them. Our from is XY, our 2 is 2X and 2Y. And we have a lot of options as far as line type. Geodesic pretty much works here the best, and we'll give it a name, and that will give us a nice swoopy, swoopy airline or route map style lines on our map. And let's add some symbology to our route lines now. So if we go to Firefly, we can use the same cool Firefly symbology set. And we go into properties. We go to a wrench. We can add a fact of tapered polygon. And over here, and it's like the from width of 3 and a to width of 0 gives us kind of a directionality. Kind of cool, huh? Very good. So now let's go ahead and label our stops along the way. And I beg of you, explore all, look at all these fonts. They're all way better than the out-of-the-box font you get. So let's change it to Papyrus and 16 and turn them to our Rush Red color. And labeling over the top of photos is so difficult. You just got to kind of do your best. So let's get in here and start monkeying with halos and whatnot. So let's go down to our halo and make it a gradient fill. Everything's a gradient fill, I think, right? Let's change it to buffered and about 50 stops. Makes it look continuous, even though it's not. And we'll change our colors, and I found this pinkish hue that seemed to work okay, so I'm going to type that into there, and same thing over here. And add a couple stops in the middle at 75 and 25. And add the transparency of 50 to those. And also, let's make it fully transparent on both ends. And see what that looks like. Go here. And we can bump up our size a little bit. There we go. I think I like it. But over here, we have some overlap. So all we have to do is go into our label placement, our conflict resolution, type 100 into the weight, and that should force all labels off of the lines. No overlapping. Pretty good. Okay. So always save periodically, of course, and now we can add a new layout. Not like 17 by 22. It's a good size, not too big to hang on the wall, not too small not to see your detail. There it is. And if we zoom to our lines layer, we get the maximum scale so we can see what we're doing. And there we go, looking good so far. So let's start adding our lyrics to our song. So our first stop is in Bogota to check the Colombian fields. And again, let's go with Papyrus on our font and turn it to Rush Red pretty cool. And the size, something more reasonable. There we go. Again, pretty tough to label over photos, so we're going to put a little smoky little cloud behind it. After all, that's what this little travelogue is all about, right? Wink. So gradient fill, and we'll change our settings. Okay, it's getting good. Not great yet. Put a couple stops in here. And oops, let's turn that back to white, not black, 100%, or 30%, I'm sorry. And let's change these stops a little bit, and it looks pretty good. Oh, we need a 100% on our size so it fills up our entire box. Let's put our text on top and just slide it. I don't know if you know, but you can, if you're moving things, if you hold down the space bar, it won't snap to your guides or any other snapping you might have on. And the last little piece, I went out to the interwebs and I downloaded some picture corners. So there we go. There's the little pretentious, not quite 45. Just pretentious enough, just like our favorite band, Rush. Nice little decoration, right? And let's group these and call that group Bogota. So now, for all the rest of the stops, it's just copy and paste. Change the name. Our next stop is Jamaica. Let's move that up by Jamaica. And we will go, and I have the song lyrics in a text, in a Word document right next to me, so I just copy and paste from there. And just one line in Jamaica, so now just get into our pieces and parts of our rectangle, and can make that fit. Move our decoration. Don't turn off. Move it. Holding down the space bar. And we'll do that. And so now, same thing for all the rest of the stops. And that's Acapulco. Change the text. And I'm going to speed this up significantly just because you don't need to watch me cut and paste for the next half hour. I didn't like it there, so let's move that up there. See how that, yeah, see how that goes. Okay, I like it a little better, I guess. And now we're finally in Bangkok. So let's change that. And that's really great. Got all our stops, because we only stop for the best. Now, let's put a title in here. And we will, of course, change that to our old friend, Gradient Fill. And I want continuous and 100%. Now I want it to go from the inside to the left and right instead of up and down. So I'm going to change that to 0, and we're going to change our stops. Again, I urge you, play with these gradients because you can do so much. The stops and the fills and the colors and the transparency. Stretch that out a little bit. And now we've got a nice shimmery, glassy kind of background. Let's copy it and move it down just below. And we're going to go ahead and shrink it just a little, well, gosh, quite a lot. And then we're going to change our symbology to a gradient fill. Different gradient fill. Get rid of these stops in the middle. And go from black to fully transparent black. And look at that. Oops, and we need to go ahead and change our angle back to 90. So it's upside down. So now we got a cute shadow. Okay. Nobody will know the difference. Looks pretty good. Let's add our text. Our title of our travelogue, A Passage to Bangkok. And again, spelling counts. And let's make that a little bit bigger. So let's go over text symbols. And Century Gothic is always, I found, is fun for a lot of maps. And space out the letters because it always looks better if you space them out. Classy. And now it's back to our Rush Red. And of course, we can't leave it alone. So let's go ahead. And as you know, fonts are just polygons to ArcPRO, so let's treat them as such. And let's go to our old friend, the gradient fill. 100% transparent. It's like, yeah, good. I don't like the white though, so let's make it transparent red. 100% transparent red. There we go. Ah, better. Classy. I like it. Okay. Cool. Almost done. Almost there. Home stretch. Now we got these service credits. And let's change those up a little bit. And if you didn't know, you can go to the service layer credits right here. Add a box and it will. And then now you can monkey with them to your heart's delight. Let's make it, yeah, a little, that's maybe a little too small. Let's go back to our text, oops, up here, text symbol, and we can add our text, cartography by yours truly, and inspiration for this travelogue map is by my friends in Rush. And we will give credit where credit is due. The rest of it, And leave it right there. Maybe a little bit lighter. There we go. Yeah. And now the coup de grace, finishing touch. My dog's barking. Don't mind her. Logo. And if you got even a nugget of information out of this, please like, subscribe, all of that. And there you have it, A Passage to Bangkok by my favorite band, Rush. And it seems like all this was just a dream. See you next time.